All right, BD3, Bow Disciples 3, day 2.
Day 2.
Day 2, rocking through this thing, man. James Visser crushing it up here in the mountains of San Diego, holding it down for the SoCal boys.
Absolutely.
Doing good. There's only like 2 of us, but we're doing it. But fun, having a good time. I got to have my buddy Jeff Dodds down from Washington. He's actually filming some content for TRICER. I've met Jeff a few times. He's actually really hard to get on a pod because he's blown me off like 4 times, I think, getting on this pod. But no, seriously, super awesome Christian dude out of Washington State who, if you watch a lot of content like elk-shaped stuff or podium archery, MFJJ, like Jeff is the dude behind the camera.
That is correct.
I actually heard that he's the reason why those guys are who they are today.
I don't know about that, but
we should cut that right there. Put that one on Instagram right there. Jeff made Dan.
Oh gosh, no, Dan made Dan.
Dan made Dan. Dan is a dude. He's a. I went and hung out with Dan, dude, and he's a whirlwind.
Yeah, he is. He's
like, I have energy. People say I'm pretty active,
Mm-hmm.
But dude, Dan is like next level meth.
He's a fountain of youth. That's what I would say.
He is. He's got. And I'm shocking because he's like 43, I think, 44.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And dude, he we went to the gym together. I'm like, dude, you go hard. He's like, it is cool to see somebody who really is living it out like that though. He really is preparations in the perspiration or something like that. What is this thing?
Separations in the preparation.
Separations in preparation.
Yeah.
He really is living that lifestyle of separating the preparation, right?
Totally.
He's shooting his bow every day, doing the pod, doing the freaking content, and then hitting the gym hard. And
the gym, yeah.
I had a lot of respect for him. Also, another real good Christian dude, and I had fun shooting with him.
Absolutely.
But, dude, I wanted to have you on because you started some new dad bods company.
Yeah, dad bods. Mountain dad bods.
Mountain dad bod.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. Mountain dad. Honestly, you might do better with that company.
That is
called
true. Yeah, I should change the name.
Dad bods.
Yeah. Mountain dads.
Mountain dads.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. Sorry, I had to cut you off there.
So Jeff has. We'll talk content as well. We'll talk filming and stuff. I know a lot of you guys like to hear about that stuff, but something that is near and dear to my heart, as everyone knows this, I have 5 kids, right? Foster parents, and we love, there's such a lack of the father in the home in America.
Amen to that,
and
man.
that is why we're at where we are today. I always say all the time, I wouldn't need all the ministries I do if dads were in the home doing their job or parents are doing their job, and they're not. And a lot of the way my sons, I'm not bragging on them, but they're really good kids,
sure.
Right? You guys see them in films. These kids haven't drank. These kids, they're not out sleeping with all these different girls. They're hardworking kids. They're desired by people with businesses to work for them, right? Fully homeschooled. But a lot of the way we achieved that was by being a mountain dad.
Absolutely.
What I would call a mountain dad is just being out there with your kids and spending time with your kids, dude. So what is mountain dads, and what did it come about?
Yeah. So as a brand guy, as a storyteller, I was really trying to sink my teeth in and figure out what I wanted to build. And the first thing I went to was prayer, and then just what do I love to do? What do I what's my passion in life? For a lot of people it's elk hunting, for a lot of people it's shooting guns, archery, whatever that may be. And I used to be a fly fishing guide, elk hunting guide, whitewater rafting guide. I'd ski patrol in the wintertime, and so before I got married, that was my lifestyle. And I was living in Colorado, then I moved up to Montana, did that a little bit. And I just I lived 200 plus days in the mountains every single year. I had a camera doing it the whole time. But if there's one thing I definitely saw was when a father and his son, or his father and his daughter, or just family in general, when they spent quality time in the outdoors, I could just tell they had a closer relationship and a closer bond. Mm-hmm. And obviously with the decade of experience that I was able to gather, obviously I'm going to bring my own family into that scenario. I fell in love with my wife in the mountains. And now that I have a daughter that's almost 2, and then one on the way due in August. And being a father changed my life forever. Mm-hmm. And I am a very driven person. You know, I have an entrepreneurial heart. I love growing things, businesses, things like that, brand stories. But when I became a father, it really hit me hard of just like, okay, what am I actually trying to build while here on Earth?
Yeah,
is it a business? Is it a brand? Is it a story? Is it money? I always felt back to, no, my biggest priority is my children. And I feel like men these days call themselves to so many things, but they are actually called to very, very few.
Yeah.
They sign up for all of these responsibilities, and they're goers, they're doers, they run fast, they go hard, and they miss the mission that's right in front of their fingertips and their toes, and that's their children, their wife, their families. And so Mountain Dads was born out of a desire to just encourage families, fathers, to be present with their children and to provide them more than just a paycheck or a salary or, whatever that may be, and provide them with quality time in the mountains. Provide them with your undivided attention. We don't need perfect fathers. We need present ones. We need to showcase to our children failure and how we get through it. If you and your wife have an argument and the kids saw it, you need to stop and communicate to your children how you guys work through it together. And I feel like
I always put ice on my wife's face. Like when I hit her, I'm like,
yeah,
I take care of her. Just joking.
Just kidding.
I don't beat my wife.
Yeah, but I really just want to encourage the trade of fatherhood.
Yeah.
And I'm not actually going into this feeling like I know everything. Mm-hmm. I'm actually going into it as a journalist.
Okay.
Of just like, hey, you've been a father, maybe even a grandfather longer than I have been a father. So what works for you? What doesn't work for you? And so Mountain Dads is really a community-based brand that's just a database of information of ways that you can improve your quality of family. I mean, the mission statement is forging family resilience.
It's awesome, dude. Yeah, I like what you said too, because you have 2 kids. So honestly, I hear you, I'm like, oh, hold my beer, right?
Yeah.
I haven't even got to teenage years and stuff, right? But at the same time, one thing I've always said, and people don't always receive it well from me, is I've always said, if I lead 1,000 people to the Lord, but my kids don't know God, I failed.
Absolutely.
And that is, as I've gotten older, I've kind of stepped back a little bit, because I do understand, free will, and kids can walk away. Even the kids in the greatest houses can walk away from the Lord. I get it, right? But, I don't want to be the stumbling block that caused that for my kids. Right? And, one of my biggest regrets, and I've spent a lot of time with my kids in the field, even when I was working 16 hours a day, I'd find times to go out in the field with my kids and do stuff with them, is how much I worked.
Yeah. And
how much I sacrificed. And now I'm at a point now where I'm saying, my kids are getting the best of me.
Sure.
Right? They really are. I'm home all the time, doing all stuff with them. But and there is a part where they understand that too. Kids need to see their dad going to work every single day.
Yes.
My kids, my kids in Kyrgyzstan doing ministry right now, and his leader is 25 years calling me. He's like, dude, I don't know why your kid's such a hard worker. I don't understand. It's well, dude, because my son has seen me since he was born, working 6-7 days a week and working hard, right? My son understands that if we're sitting somewhere, I'll always tell him, you never sit while another man works.
Sure.
You don't watch this guy next to me set up his easy up without going over and helping him set his easy up, right? You always are working, right? If there's a job to be done, a man is always working. And so much of that is caught, not taught.
Yep.
Right? And that's where the presence thing comes in, is being around him and seeing it. And that's where the mountain thing is so critical to the way my boys have become.
Sure.
I truly think I have incredible kids. My older boy is my boy's going off to college, he's going to be a lawyer. He's doing ministry right now. He's hardworking. My other boy, he's working with us right now. He's very respectful, right? He's still kind of a smart aleck 16-year-old, but he's for a 16-year-old kid.
He's pretty dang good, yeah.
Pretty dang perfect kid, right? Don't get me wrong. They can be a little pissy and they sleep in. They're teenagers, right?
Yeah.
The world's ending. They know everything.
Sure.
But most of that comes from them spending countless days in the field since they were 4 or 5 years old with me.
Sure.
Whether it be in a duck blind or next to a lake or just catching crawdads in a creek, that time. And then, like, I think the most foundational moments of their childhood would be like those preteen to teen years where we would spend 16 hours in a truck driving together.
Yeah.
And then sitting around a campfire together and suffering together and just talking about God and talking about life and seeing the way and persevering and suffering. And like, it forges men.
Absolutely.
The mountains forge men. I know you have a daughter, right? So I'm not I'm not saying it doesn't forge daughters as well, but like for my boys, like not only that, just being with me and then being around Jeff and like being around other men and like not just like, this is controversial, I'm not a team sports guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. And I actually don't recommend it. Like, we do soccer now on the weekends, but it's with my church, and, like, we just don't show up all the time.
Sure.
Like, dude, I think that, like, I grew up playing. I played baseball up until high school, and then I played football into high school, and then I was done, right?
Yeah.
But I also freaking did so many drugs and partied so much. It was crazy. Like, team sports don't build kids. Parents build kids.
Absolutely,
and
do
I feel
right
like,
there.
I feel like we're in this time right now where it's like, not only are we doing Little League, but it's like we got to do travel ball. We got to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then no offense to you, Jeff. Like, what, you're 5'8"? How tall are you?
I don't know, 5'11"?
5'11"?
Yeah.
5'11"? Are you? Okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, did you get old Nate thinking all mad like this? But you're 5'11"? You're 5'11"? You don't look like the most athletic specimen. Like, your kid's probably not going to be a pro athlete.
Sure. Yeah,
all my
absolutely.
friends look like you,
right?
But they get this assumption that all of a sudden, when their kid's 10 and they're all the same size, like we have to get them a hitting coach, a pitching coach, $2,000 bats and lessons and all this stuff. And then like reality sets in, like, hey, by the time your kid gets to 18, he's probably going to be 5'11" and a $180,
right?
Like Jeff and like you, and he's probably not going to hit dingers.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's just,
and I could attest to that because I grew up, playing baseball. I played in college a little bit, and dude, the second it got done, I was just like, wow, that was a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I lost a lot of time. I don't regret it completely. It gave me a lot of opportunity and work ethic and stuff like that. But like, I made a post about this the other day on Mountain Dads. Just like, when we grow up, we don't think about the baseball tournaments we went to. We don't think about the baseball practices, the hitting coaches, whatever. We think about the hunts we went on with our dad, the fly fishing trips, the Boy Scout events, like things like that, where you actually have an encounter with God through nature. And that's like, we were born for that, and that's exactly what we as dads are built to expose our children and our families to.
Yeah, man. And like, the thing is too, I think we get so caught up in this rat race of like, we got to take our kid this crazy hunt.
Right.
Like, dude, it's so much more important. Like, instead of going out and buying a $100,000 fishing boat,
right?
Dude, like, you'd be better off just like working less and just going to the lake and going fishing.
Dude, you can have an
they
insane.
Have just as much fun. And like, I'm not gonna lie, like, camping trips as a dad suck. Right. Dude, like, when you have 5 kids, like, especially like now that my boys are older, make them do a lot of work. Like, Isaac's packing the truck right now, right? We're camping up here, he's packing the truck. But like, when you have 5 kids and they're like all under 10 and like, you're just stressed out the whole time. Right. Dude, they had the time of their life.
Absolutely.
Like, dude, like, Isaac over here, to this day, I mean, that kid has killed, I can't even tell you, well over 10 big game animals. I mean, like, more big animals than most men. Yeah. Right? His favorite hunt to talk about, he was like 4 years old. We went squirrel hunting or bird hunting, and there was no birds. So we shot stink bugs with a 12-gauge shotgun. I mean, and like, dude, it was the coolest thing in the world for him to go and do that with me. And like, and he still talks about it. And like, it's so stupid. But dude, like, it's not a matter of the event you do, it's the time you spend. It's the time. And the time is the valuable thing. It's not the object. And like, I was telling someone the other day, I can't remember who it was, but it was like the guy at the gym, and he's like a young married guy, and he was talking about they're really stressed out on going to like on this vacation, you know what I mean? He works all the time, and I'm like, let me tell you something right now. Like, by no means am I perfect with money. I've made some really bad decisions in life with money, right? Like, I've lost houses, I've done stuff. The one thing I've never regretted was spending time or going on a trip.
Absolutely.
I've regretted buying a 40-inch plasma TV in 2005 for $3,000. That's what they used to cost back then. Yeah. I've regretted getting 0% interest cards and furnishing my house, or buying a $40,000 car when I was 21 years old, and getting an $800 payment, right? Like, it's really awesome in the moment. And then, like, a month sets in, the first payment comes in, you're like, oh, God, $800 a month. I'm 20 years old, and I'm
for
making
the rest of my life.
$60,000, right? Whatever it is, you're like, oh, gosh, for the next 5 years. Now it's like 10 years, these loans.
Sure.
Like, I've regretted that, but I've never regretted, like, think about everyone listening to this podcast right now. Have you ever regretted taking a Friday off to go fishing? The business is always there.
Yeah.
Like, your job will always be there. Your problems will always be there. But I'm telling you right now, your kids won't be.
Yeah.
Like, my son, dude, like, we went on our last hunts together. It's not our last hunts, but he went off to Hawaii, did missions training, then he did a mission. He's coming back right now, and he's going to college. He's going to Christian college up in Oregon. He's not going to hunt with me, dude.
Yeah.
He's gone. He wants to do 4 years in college, and then he wants to do, like, Harvard. And he's going to be a lawyer. He's going to have a family. Like,
yeah.
We went to Colorado this year, and that was probably, like, the last hunt, dude, for a long time.
For sure.
And it's like, dang it, man. Like, dang it, man. I miss that so much. Like, already, like, it chokes me up, like, thinking about it. Like, it was like, that was it. And I'm not saying, like, we're not going to try and get out when he's in college, but it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, you'll have the time, but it's very, like, it's scheduled. It's limited. Like, a lot more work has to go into making that time.
He's going to have a family, dude.
Yeah, exactly. And just, like, so going back twofold, originally you talked about how we need to see our kids need to see us men working. 100%, absolutely. But it's all about the open dialogue with your children about the work that you are doing.
Yep.
Right? Say, you talk to Isaac, hey, Isaac, in the next couple weeks, I'm going to be going like crazy, trying to hit this deadline or trying to reach this goal or trying to do these things inside of my business. So I'm not going to have as much availability for family time as I usually do. However, I'm going to make it up by doing this, and this with you guys at some point, right? It's critical to have that open dialogue with your children about the time that you are spending. Because I know when I was growing up, my dad worked his absolute butt off, and you just never knew when you were going to get that time. Yep. So something that I really like to promote and encourage is that open dialogue with your kids. Like, hey, this is the game plan. This is how I need to allocate my time this week. However, at this time we'll be able to go, hiking or go fishing or, go on that trip that we've always wanted to do. And I think that it's just critical that you're bringing them into the puzzle. And obviously it's not like they can't, give you the yin and yang. You can't. It's not up for debate, but at least you're giving them the opportunity to give them that communication. And then the second thing is that you talked about is like how fatherhood, you don't have to go on these crazy exotic hunts, right? You don't need to have your kids go, kill a bunch of big game animals. It's fantastic if you can. It's obviously the more epic adventures, the better. However, if you just go pitch your tent in the backyard and, roast some s'mores, it's just like,
they talk about it for
want.
The rest of their life. They talk about that time you camped in your backyard, and I told them this story about the gumball monster with the flashlight.
Yeah.
Like, they talk about this stupid, I don't remember the story, but it's the gumball monster. Tell the gumball story. But they were 3 years old, dude, at this, like, lake in CNT where I lived, because we had no money. We were living in a little condo, dude. And I had kids at 20 years old, bro. Like, we were just, like...
So
we were scraping by. Wife's doing hair in the kitchen. We were trying to make it. And, like, dude, it doesn't matter what you do. You have to do it.
Yeah, and that is what I really want to hone in on all of you fathers listening to this is just, like, go buy a $10, $15 Walmart tent and pitch it in your backyard. Go, in your car and have a picnic at a park or at a trailhead or go on a small hike. Like, obviously, the big epic weekend trips or the big week vacation trips are awesome, but those are a couple one maybe two a year, maybe, just because life is busy. But dude, putting the computer down, putting the phone down, putting your work aside at 4:30 on a Thursday or a Friday and be like, you know what, today's family day, let's go pitch the wall tent, let's go pitch the Walmart tent, let's go do something as a family, and you give them your undivided attention, right? You're giving your business your undivided attention. You're working really hard. Separate that time and give your family that time. Yep. I truly believe that a lot of problems in this world can be solved by a present father in people's lives. Because mentorship starts with fatherhood or motherhood, right? That's where you start learning about life. And when kids don't have that foundation, they go out into the world trying to find those mentors and that foundation. And that scares the shit out of me. Can you cuss on this? Sorry.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. But like, I want my children to go out into the world knowing their foundation, not looking for their foundation. Because everywhere in this world you turn, I don't trust that foundation. I don't trust that mentor, right? And so when we lack fatherhood or motherhood or parenthood, we get these broken people going into the world trying to figure out what is what. And every child is going to do that no matter what, no matter how their background is, but they have that foundation.
You're going to screw your kids up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I tell my wife all the time, like, oh, dude, they're going to get, like, everything's relative, right? Like, so I grew up, my mother's a drug addict, my dad's a drinker, like, abuse. I mean, like,
sure.
Like, I have a lifestyle. I've never done the whole testimony on the podcast, but, like, that'll rival Jerry Springer. Some of the things I endured as a child were terrible, right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm so defensive of kids now as an adult and, like, have foster ministries, right? Like, I should have been a foster kid, right? In so many ways. But, where's it going there? So
mentorship foundation.
Yeah, exactly. You need to be there for your kids and stand up for your kids.
Yeah.
Right? And so many parents don't do that, dude.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just, that's what I was saying. You're going to screw your kids. Everything's relative. That's what I was going with that, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, like, my kids, like, they're going to go to counseling for me, like, one time telling me he's a loser, right?
Sure.
Or my dad hit me with a hammer when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got a brick thrown at me one time when I was a kid, right? Like, I mean, like, but, like, my kid's going to be like, oh, one time, he's still talking about, like, oh, you know, I'm a loser because he told me, I was like, maybe I shouldn't have said that when it was 2 in the afternoon and you're still sleeping and you should have been out doing your job and you missed your whatever.
Sure.
But, like, everything's relative, right, with your kids. Like, there's going to be certain things where you're going to screw them up. You're going to mess up. You're going to fight. Trust me, if you don't think that me and my 18-year-old haven't, like, almost come to blows a couple times,
sure.
like, a 16-year-old, no problem. That kid's, like, easy going.
Yeah.
18-year-old, spitting image of me, dude. Stubborn as a mule, puffed up, ready to go, you know, wants to, you know, peck, you know, little rooster running around, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we had a few moments, we had a few times, but I'll tell you what, he texts me almost every day, tells me he loves me, he's asking for advice, like, hey, what should I do with this girl? How should I handle the situation where this person accused me of this? Or, hey, this guy's asking for this money, what do you think about giving to that? You know, and, like, he's because we have this relationship where we really are, I don't think parents are friends, but we are friends. Like,
sure.
we have this relationship where he trusts me and he loves me, and, like, where me and my mom don't even talk.
Right.
Like, we don't. Like, it's just
the hard times there where you're arguing or you're almost coming to blows or whatever, like, some kids don't even have that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I know so many kids are like, I just wish I had a father to go to blows with.
Some kids need to be smacked in the head, and that's part of the problem. Right? Like, trust me, there's times where a kid just needs to be smacked in the head.
Totally.
But, you know,
but also, on top of that, like, when we're still searching for that foundation and, you know, everything's relative, like you said, but, dude, if we're not taking the initiatives as fathers to our children and giving them that foundation of hard work, of discipline, of respect, all of these things, I mean, dude, they're exposed to the internet, and the internet's going to start raising your children. Yeah,
so we are psychos with all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, like, my kids didn't get real phones until they were 16. Like, they got,
sure.
like, Gab phones. My daughter's 14. She has a real phone. My daughter's a girl and way more responsible than my boys. And she's like, the boys, like, dude, like, you want your kid to be addicted to porn? Give them a phone.
100%.
You want, like, dude, like, don't. It's not if, it's when. They will. Like, I have friends whose boys are 11 or 12. The iPhones. Why can't my kid stay at your house? He has an iPhone.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. You don't trust us? I'm like, no. I don't trust your 11-year-old boy with an iPhone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was 11.
Right.
They're idiots.
Yeah.
They're junior hires are morons.
Even in our generation, it's even more accessible.
Oh, yeah, dude. You had to work for a magazine when I was a kid, dude.
Right.
Now you just get it in a freaking click of a button.
Yeah, 3 seconds. And
3
boom.
seconds and you're there. You know, it's not like downloading, like, you Google, you know, AOL.
Right.
You're a little bit younger than me, but we had AOL, dude. But, we've been so strict with that. Like, we just gave Isaac social media at 16. And my wife's still mad at me about that for them social media, for having Instagram. But it's like, I'm kind of like, I kind of want to, you don't want to completely shelter your kids because you want them to, like, to understand. I want him to be in my house while he's doing that. He's going to get it at 18 years old, right? but I have to be an example for them in that, and kind of guide them through that situation,
Yeah,
right?
I think
But
it's
I don't
a
want
balance.
to give. I don't want to give it to them. I don't want to be like, here's this, and that's why we homeschool as well. And like people say, like, oh, your kids are gonna be losers. They're gonna be dorks. And it's like, dude, what do I want to be raised by a bunch of morons?
Yeah.
Like literally, your kid's gonna like you send your kids to Caesar. Don't expect you're gonna get Romans back.
Yep.
And like, and I'm not knocking people who send kids to public school, whatever. But like right now in California, like, I will get rid of my cars and walk everywhere before I send my kids to public school in California.
Sure.
They hate my children. I'm a Christian. I fully believe the devil's in our school system, and they want to take our kids and corrupt our kids. They want, I mean, like 60% of the kids in California identify as bisexual. I mean,
Sure.
they don't, but they identify as bisexual, but they all date the opposite sex.
Sure.
It's cool. Like it's cool
It's
to
the
be gay
trendy
now.
thing.
Like
Yeah,
if you're
right.
gay now, you're like champion. Like it's
Right.
weird, right? But it's this fatherless generation of these kids coming up, no dads. So two girls are dating. They're just so confused. Like, man, like I want my kids to be raised by me. And this is something like Chris Ballison says from Bethel Church. He says, like the first thing you learn, you question everything against it from there.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about sex with our kids at 5 years old. 6 years, like not like the whole talk,
Yeah,
but we
sure.
have like books, and we do the whole sex talk with our kids as they're growing up. So that way, when they hear it from their friends, well, my dad said this,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, if you put your kid, like I learned about sex on the bus in the 2nd grade on the back of the bus, right?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I was like, sexually active in like the 3rd grade.
Right.
Like, I mean, like doing things with girls. I mean, I had again terrible childhood, like
Sure.
just terrible childhood full of abuse, right? And just no rules whatsoever. But like. I want to have those conversations with my kid, right? Like I personally choose not to drink. I don't think it's a sin.
Yeah.
But my kids haven't drank.
Right.
They have no desire to. They're kind of like, I might want to try some wine when I'm 21. I might try a beer. But like they're not going to be like, I come from a family of addiction.
Yeah, same.
My father's an alcoholic. My grandfather died with a Marlboro Red in his mouth and a freaking Budweiser on his couch at 62 years old, right? Or 65 years old in his trailer,
Yeah.
right? Like we come from family of, so I'm just like, I'm not going to even expose my kids to that because they don't need to see it because it's just.
But also, your kids
Yeah.
look up to you. They
Yeah.
want to be dad, right?
Yep.
You know, like I want dads to be their kids' heroes, and so obviously, if you see or if a child sees their dad, you know, I'm not saying drinking is bad, but everything, you know, in simplicity, in you know, just have an understanding that your kids are watching everything you do.
Yep.
Even when you're not paying attention, your kids are still watching. And you just set the tone, set the example. Like, sure, have a beer at a wedding, have a beer in a comfortable environment. But, like, because I don't know, feel like if you shelter kids, you know, with social media, they're going to just, like, grasp to it once they have that freedom.
Yeah.
You know, you see that over and over again where, like,
Oh, you got to teach a kid, dude. My 5-year-old, bro, like, we're busting him getting on YouTube every day. Not be on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, like, he's just naturally born a sinner.
sure.
You know,
As we
liar,
all are.
right? He's a
Yeah.
kid. He's just a little kid, like this little, like this, and he's got more deceit in him than some of our other kids. I'm like, we got to break this out of you now, dude, because you're doing it now at 5. Like,
Right.
what are you going to do when you're 10, 12, 13, 14, right?
Yeah.
But, like, you just got to, like, be there and parent that. And it's so easy to be like, here's a tablet, shut up.
Oof.
My kids don't
Yeah.
have tablets, bro.
Yeah.
They don't.
The tablet thing is scary to me. And, you know, obviously every family has their own rules and regulations, and I hope at least. But it does scare me that this next generation of kids grew up with an iPad in their face.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
We don't have iPads. We don't have tablets. And we don't have to teach them how to play on them, trust me. Like, you're like, well, if your kids don't know
Yeah.
how to use it, your kid's going to figure it out. It's not like they're going to grow up and be like they're retarded. They don't know
Yeah.
how to use a phone. Like, they're
Right.
going to figure it out, trust me. Like, they get on there. But that's another thing, too. Like, I could say, like, with me personally, like, I was really struggling with my phone. Like, with TRICER, I was having 8 hours of screen time a day because I was running all over Instagram stuff. And I felt like I had to be on it, and I wasn't present.
Yep.
Right?
It's a
Dude,
time
I was
suck,
told you
dude.
yesterday, dude, my screen time was 2 hours.
It's awesome.
I gave up social media 2 months ago to have someone come on and take it over for the team, take it over. And I kind of got the idea from like Lorenzo from Go Hunt's doing it. Jace from Gypsy Tales Podcast doing the same thing.
Okay.
It's only on my computer because if it's on my phone, it's just, I just instantly, like the first month, dude, it was hard. I was like, where am I going? Where am I
Yeah.
going? Where am I going? Right? Like
It's a dopamine addiction.
it is
Yeah,
total addiction.
For sure.
But like I wasn't present, and my daughter was one that was really getting me. Oh, you're not listening to me. But we have to talk about that too, because sometimes like I'll be working and she'll get mad at me. I'm like, no, you understand, like, I do have to run my business from my phone. Like, it's like literally my life is run off my phone now or my computer. So if I'm working, you got to give me a break. But
that's where that dialogue comes in.
Yeah, and so we talk about it. But like, I got this conviction. I'm like, I'm just gonna get rid of social media. And like, my partner was like, you can't do that. I'm like, watch me.
Yeah.
And TRICER didn't fail.
Shocker.
Like, it's
Dude,
shocking.
If your social media went bye-bye tomorrow, TRICER wouldn't fail.
TRICER wouldn't fail.
Yeah.
But like, you feel like you get so sucked into it, like, and people have so much access. The problem is some people have so much access to me. So it was like the way that, like, instead of texting me 21,000 followers now were messaging me every day and talking to me and getting, and I'm like, and I feel, and it just sucks everything out of me. And I'm like, I'm just going to give that up.
Yeah.
And man, it is wild the clarity my brain has right now.
That's awesome.
In 2 months, so like my life has changed from dropping that and getting rid of it.
Yeah.
And like and I can still go on my computer, and what I'm doing now is I'm taking like more higher quality photos, editing them, putting them on there.
Sure.
And actually, I'm just giving them to Alexa now. Alexa posts them. But like, if I want to post something on Facebook, I got to go in, I got to go to Photoshop, I got to edit it, and then I put it on there. It's not like it's a blatant posting it on my phone or whatever. And I've never been like a big like go on there and comment a bunch on like Facebook stuff.
Yeah, sure.
But now if I wanted to,
it's still a time suck, dude.
Now
You're
if I wanted
scrolling,
to,
all that.
yeah, dude, I'm looking at some people I went to junior high with, like a bunch of these like girls and dudes. We all went to junior high together, and like, you don't matter to me.
I mean,
like,
yeah, but like,
you know,
I
but
guess
that's what friends are on Facebook.
What they're posting online doesn't matter. Their
doesn't matter.
Yeah, their friendship that matters, but like.
But does it? Like, does the girl or the dude
I mean,
from
if
junior
you're friends
high?
with them,
but I'm not. Like, think about like
yeah.
your friends on Facebook. Like who matters to me?
Yeah.
Luke Duesenberry matters to me. That's
Sure.
a relationship that I'll pour into, right? Cody Rich matters to me. My partner Brock, my partner Paul, right? My best friend Neil. Those relationships matter to me.
Sure.
Right? And like, I have like an inner circle of people that matter to me that I want to talk to and be around. But like, these other people, like, what am I just looking at? There's fake social media life where it's not even real.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, no one's on there. Like,
if you really want to, call them up, get a coffee with them.
Yeah,
right?
get a coffee with them. Like, those are the guys that matter. Right? I have some friends I still talk to from high school. Most of them I don't. I'm like, why do I care what you're doing? Like, living my best life.
Yeah.
You know, down here.
But also, like,
ate some pancakes at IHOP this morning. Bomb.
Right.
You know, like, that doesn't. It's so pointless.
It's so pointless.
And we're so sucked into it now.
And like, here's the thing: is like the thing that got to me the most is like, I lost an opportunity to show my family love for that, right? Like, I could have been present with my family. Instead, I'm looking at my buddy living his best life online.
Exactly.
That to me was when I was like, okay, dude, I got to do something about this.
So something I do now is I started dating my daughter. So my daughter is like inside and out.
How old is she?
She's 14.
14.
Inside and out, like, one of the most beautiful people in the world. Like,
Sure.
most beautiful, like, prettiest girl in the room. Her mom's the same way. Like, mom, prettiest girl in high school. Like, had to date her, right? My daughter, it's like God's paying me back. Like, every boy, she won't date. She doesn't want to date. She's 17.
Sure.
And my friends, I'm watching these wives like try and get in with my daughter. Like, they're like, everyone is vying for their son to marry my daughter.
Sure.
Every boy that treasures a crush on my daughter, she
Yeah.
eats it up. So what I do now is I go on a date once a week.
That's awesome.
Go
man.
get breakfast, go get coffee, whatever it is for an hour, and I just sit there, and she doesn't shut up, and I just listen to her. She loves it.
Dude,
But,
that will change her life.
I want to be the first guy she dates.
Yeah.
And I want to be the standard by which she decides what that man will be like.
Absolutely.
Right? And like, think about that. Like, are you the husband to your wife that you want to marry your daughter? And I'm not. Like, I'm not a good enough husband for what I want to marry my daughter. Like, my
Sure.
standard for my daughter is so much bigger than I am for my wife. So much like I want, like, she's the apple of my eye. And like, I want her to know, I tell her all the time, like, since she was born, you are worth waiting for.
Yeah.
I mean, since she was 3 years old, what do you mean? Like, you'll understand, you are worth waiting for.
Absolutely.
Dude, my daughter has so much confidence. Walks into a room, and her presence, she owns the room.
Yeah.
And no, like, she's some insecurities, but not like a lot, no dad issue stuff. No, like, she is just a leader. And it's like, and most of it's from her mom, right?
But here's the thing.
Like,
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
But she's had this presence of a, like, I see some of her friends whose dads are out of the house or doing stupid stuff, and they're so insecure and they're so boy crazy and they're looking for this love. And my daughter's not, because she's getting it from me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she's getting that love from me, because, like, she doesn't need to date a 14 years old.
Right.
It's not going to last. Like none of us, like I married my wife, we were dating when we were 17. Most people don't marry their high school sweetheart, right?
No. I met my wife when I was 23.
I think I'm the only one from my high school that is still married. Some of us got married, but I'm the only one still married. Like we were married, we'll be 19 years next week. But like most of it doesn't, those relationships don't work out, and it's pointless and it's fruitless, and it's you're giving your heart to somebody you shouldn't be giving it to.
Right.
And like by being present in her life and giving her that time, I'm never going to regret it.
Never.
But I will
Absolutely
regret
not.
if she's looking for that love from in all the wrong places and pregnant at 17 years old or 19 years old or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
because you prioritize TRICER over your daughter.
TRICER over my daughter, 100%, right? I prioritize time over my daughter. And she's, that dog won't hunt. Like she's not a hunter. She rides, she doesn't even like, she goes ride dirt bikes. I mean, she is like, she's not a tomboy by any means, but she'll go ride dirt bikes. She went shooting with me the other day. She shot with me.
Yeah.
She'll drive the side-by-side around, but she's not getting out in the blind. She'll surf. She gets her hair wet, does that stuff, goes to the pool. But she also gets manicures and does facials.
As she should. She's a woman.
She's as girly as they come, right?
Yeah.
But,
I mean, that feminine genius should be, cherished and pursued. Like, we want our women to be women. So
what I had to do with her was, instead of taking her hunting, is I started doing this breakfast thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's been awesome. Hey, we'll just go sit down and have breakfast, baby. And you just talk to me. Yeah. She sits there and just talks to me and never shuts up because she's a girl, right?
Right.
I just tell me about this boy that likes me and this boy that likes me and this girl. She tells me it's called the tea.
The tea, yeah.
Now, so I'm getting old. I'm learning. I gotta tell me the tea about this girl liking this boy, and then she tells me all the tea, and we sit there and talk. And it's great.
It's the crazy. You go back, you talk about her confidence and things like that. It's amazing, but that's not because of what you did or what you've built or what you've accomplished in your life. It's just simply because your presence in her life. And that's what I want to promote fathers to understand is like, you can make as many mistakes as you want. You can be, you can have a business fail or you get fired from a job or whatever that may be. But you still have the ability to choose to be present with your children.
Yep.
And that will change their life forever.
And it's going to go away so much faster. Isaac, dude, he's here right now.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be here next year. He won't be there the year after. He's going to be gone. He's going to go to Kenya for a year and go live in Kenya and do missions.
Yeah.
And who knows? I keep joking around. I'm pretty sure he's going to marry a Kenyan because he hasn't dated any girls. Good-looking kid, dude. In Kenya, he's like he's been there like it'll be his third or fourth time this year. He's like the Justin Bieber of Kenya. Like I'm like, dude, I swear this kid's going to marry a Kenyan because like he's just not like
that's hilarious.
But he's gonna go down there. He's gonna meet an adult. He's gonna get. I'm gonna be a granddad before I know it. Dude, the next, 5 to 10 years, I'm gonna be a grandpa. I'm sure, right? You know what I mean? And my daughter's 14. She's gonna be driving next year, right? I'm gonna be. It's like our house. It's weird, dude. Like, because we were in the thick of it, right? We had 5 kids in the thick of it. You know what I mean? Like, marriage is really hard. Kids don't make marriage easier,
right?
And like now, it's like, oh, weird. Like, it's getting easier. It's like they're going out of the house. We're getting to this like, not empty nester stage. We have a 5-year-old still, right? But like for me, dude, 4 kids seems like a dream.
Right.
3 kids, it's like this doesn't even seem like real.
Right.
Right. Like we have a Honda Civic now. Like, gosh, we had a passenger van forever.
Sure.
Dude. Just like screaming and fighting and just turning around and
going to church.
I will turn
10
this
minutes
van
late.
around.
Yeah.
Right? Dude, that's another thing too. Is like the biblical foundations of my house. Like we read our Bible every morning.
Sure.
My kids read the Bible every morning. I read my Bible with my wife. They see me reading, cover my wife from the Word every day. We go to church when I'm in town. We do not miss church.
Right.
When I'm out of town, most of the time I go to church and I send them a video. Hey kids, I'm at church with Luke in Idaho. Hey kids, I'm at church in Texas or wherever I went. I don't know where I went last week. I was somewhere else. I'm at church. We were in Hawaii. We went to church every single Sunday in Hawaii.
Yeah.
We found a church to go to.
Right.
Because that foundation is there and they see it.
Absolutely. Right? Everything that we've talked about thus far is rooted in Christianity.
Yep.
Like, everything is trying to set a foundation for their people to fall deeper in love with Jesus Christ. Yep. Because ultimately, we want our kids to have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ and understand where they go when push comes to shove. And that is showcased through how you dealt with it. You went through a hard time. How did you deal with it? You went to the Lord. You had a great time. You thank the Lord for your blessings. What do? You give it over to the Lord. Okay. Because, dude, every human in this earth is going to go through adversity. Every human on this earth is going to go through problems. How do you face that adversity? And these children need to see that you are faced with the adversity by going to the base of the cross and asking Jesus. And Jesus isn't this God that's just going to wipe away all your problems. If he wants you to solve a problem, he's going to give you problems to solve.
Dude, more money, more problems, bro. Problems
sure.
every year, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Problems, they don't go away.
They don't.
The older you get, there's always be something.
Yeah.
And like back to now the foundation of this whole podcast was mountain dads. So much of that is replicated in the hills.
Yes.
So much of the suffering of the day 6 positive attitude is done. I was talking to Josh Jones about JJ yesterday. I was telling him, like, dude, like one thing about me when you hunt with me is like I'm always positive.
Yeah.
Like, and it's because I'm with my kids, and it's like, dude, my kid last year suffered. Day 6 shoots a giant, right? Past year suffering, cold, rain, the whole 9, and like they learn adversity. They learn how to suffer. They learn how to deal with pain. They learn how to see me miss an animal and not quit.
Right.
They learn how to miss and not quit, right? And not get defeated. I mean, trust me, I've had some rodeos. I've had lots of tears with the boys where they've missed and they're crying and I've yelled at my kids on the mountain for missing.
Sure.
I've blown it a couple times. I got one kid, he's a little squirrely. It's like, how did you blow this? Like, can you put like 8 hours into an animal and someone blows it? It's really hard not to get pissed.
For sure.
Right? And I've had to apologize, and I've had to sit down and talk. I'm so sorry, son, for doing that. It's a stupid deer. Who cares if you missed him, dude? Like, who cares if you couldn't find him in the scope for 20 minutes and he was standing broadside? Right?
Sure.
I'm just talking about moments that happen with my kids, right?
It's just in the heat of the moment, for sure.
And I've gotten better at that as I've gotten older, right? And then, like, the more opportunities I get out there. But, like, dude, like, you learn so much in the hills with your kids.
Yep.
It's like you could teach them everything that you do as a man can be taught out there in the hills.
Right.
Sitting around a fire, carrying a heavy pack, killing an animal, cutting it up. Like, there's nothing that bonds two men together more than dragging a freaking deer out of the mountains, dude.
Just, hauling meat, knowing that you're going to give it to your sister and your mother, like, next week.
Oh, dude, like, sitting around because it's always been, like, we always do, like, my wife's terrible. My wife never reads before eating. What do we eat or not? I don't know. And we have so much stuff in the fridge now, like, I don't even know what it is. Like,
sure.
Like, can you just write down what you cooked tonight?
Yeah.
Because, like, I love to be like, oh, we're eating that Utah mule deer. Isaac, tell the story.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, dude, remember that buck you passed? We had a buck that was 100 yards from us, dude, for 2 hours, just raking a tree, and you wouldn't shoot him, dude. And I'm so glad you didn't shoot that buck, right?
Yeah.
Or like, oh, dude, remember that doe you shot? You were eating that doe when you were 10, right? Or, I mean, not now, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just like those stories and getting to provide for your family. It's so cool.
So awesome. And especially in the mountains, you're forced to have some type of adversity. That
Every time.
We can't even fathom that in our everyday life. We live in these comfortable boxes. We get into our comfortable cars. We go to our comfortable other boxes that we call work, and then we, put our temperature in the perfect shower. Then we get into our very comfortable bed at night. We're surrounded by comfort. And again, going back to what I was talking about earlier, is just like we need to teach our children how to face adversity. How do we do that? By exposing them to things of adversity. If it's just a simple hike and they're tired, they don't want to keep going. No, you get to the top of the mountain, right? Obviously, if they're like literally hurt or injured, whatever, that's different. But like,
I've had some torn knees. I made them hike on it. Felt bad. What if they got surgery?
But like that mental
we
toughness.
3 out to go, son.
Yeah. The mental toughness of hiking. I won't be able to hunt with my kids for a couple more years, but it's just like I'm still exposing them to adverse climates because, like, again, we just lived in such a comfortable world, and we need to understand where adversity comes from, because when the kids that don't have that, when they actually do have to face adversity for the first time, they're just going to crumble.
Dude, so true story. I'm bragging on my kids a lot, right? And I by no means am I a perfect parent. Listen to this thing, like, dude, like, I have screwed my kids up. I've made some major mistakes as a parent.
Sure.
Right? You have 5 kids, you're going to screw up. You're married for 20 years, you're going to screw up with your wife. Right? I've done marriage counseling.
How about you tell a story about how you did, screw up and what the lesson that you did learn?
Well, I want to tell a story first.
Okay, yeah.
So my buddy calls me, and it's always cool to get these calls, right? When people call, and I get a lot of the hard work calls from my kids, right? But he calls me, he's like, hey, I just want to tell you, like, my daughter got a flat tire at church. My son's 15 at the time. My daughter got a flat tire at church last night, and there was, maybe he was 17, and all the college dudes are standing around, they didn't know what to do, and your son walked up and changed her tire. And And I'm like, yeah, dude, because that kid's probably changed 15 tires in his life in the backcountry, dude. Because I hit everything with that truck, and you know, I mean, like, I swear, I can't tell you how many flat tires my kids have changed.
That's awesome.
In the backcountry, right? Or how many starters they had to put in, or we got stuck, and like they had to see me figure out how to get us unstuck out of a situation because the truck's stuck, and I can either flip out, or I can go find a Jeep, or I can get a shovel and rocks, and get a jack and figure it out and get them out, right?
Right.
But yeah, man, like it's just you can't replace it, man. You can't beat the backcountry. It's the best, dude.
Yeah, it's the best, and it's free. Public land. It's free.
Dude, you don't have. That's the thing. Is like there's this little spot by my house. There's a bunch of like meth heads that live down there, but like it's under. There's a lake and there's a little pond in between the lake and this bridge, and it must be like 30 by 30.
Yeah.
Loaded with bluegill.
Yeah.
We go down there and rip the lips off these things. Dude, it cost me $2.
Yep.
Like everyone has a bobber and like a number 2 fishing hook.
Yeah.
And like I actually, the kids out there, we catch crawdads, a bucket of crawdads, and bluegill. We let them all go at the end.
Yeah.
Sometimes
they're
let the kids eat them.
thrilled.
Thrilled, dude.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like for me, like I feel like kids have more fun like going out and doing like rabbit hunting, squirrel hunting, stink bug hunting, bluegill fishing. They do charter boats,
Sure.
bass. Like, dude, they just want to rip lips.
Yeah.
They just want to pull triggers.
I think this is it's the scale of adventure, right? Like every kid wants to just be like, oh, I get to go in my backyard and shoot squirrels. Versus like when they get to that teenage or 20s, they're like, okay, I want to go in the mountains and kill an elk.
Yeah, dude, but I'll tell you what. Everyone listening to this podcast right now, go get a box of 22s. Take the 2 or 3 22s you have in your safe, because we all have it, and go shoot some 22s with your kids this weekend.
Yeah. 100%.
I'll tell you what, dude, like every time I do it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's this. We went out last week, just shoot some targets out, some cans out, and we were just shooting 22s.
Your business will wait. It'll be there when you get back.
Dude, shooting 20, or even just go get some Red Ryder BB guns and go in the backyard. Like, I get a Red Ryder BB gun, and I'm like, they're like, give me to me. No, man, I'm shooting. You know, I have like, I think I have like 8 of them now because we just get giving them all the time.
Totally.
We'll just go in the backyard, and we'll just rip Red Ryders in the backyard, or I'll shoot whatever, Sumi City Limits of San Diego. We shoot 22 quiets in the yard. So the kids, I have my kids shooting 22s in our yards in the city, but we shoot 22 quiets in the bolt actions. We'll go in the backyard, dude, and we'll just rip through like 100 rounds of 22 in the bolt actions for an hour, dude. And like the shooting, it's so fun. It's like shooting archery here. Like we get our bows, we'll go shoot some bows together and just have a good time. Like, dude, like you don't have to go far. You can throw a target up here and go shoot your bow with your kid for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so fun.
They're going to be begging you to do that again.
Begging to do it again. And you just pick them up and do it with them, man.
For
and
sure.
Like just bring them along and do it. And then like be willing to like sacrifice some of your cool stuff to do some lame stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely. You know
absolutely.
what I mean? Like, dude, like bluegill are just as fun to me as bass.
Dude, absolutely.
And the kids can have more fun.
Being a husband, being a father, the forefront of that foundation is understanding that it's not about you. It's about them.
Yeah.
When you made that promise to marry your wife, you signed up for that communication of it's not about me.
Yep.
How can I give of myself and not take of myself?
Yeah.
Same thing. It even gets heightened as a husband and a father. Now you have children. Like, it's not about you. Obviously, there's still a lot on your plate. You know, you still have to run your business. You still have to be successful. You still have to be that provider. But you need to understand, like, okay, maybe this year I don't go on as many hunts, or I don't go golfing as much, or I don't do this as much. I'm going to, substitute
You cannot be good at golf and be a good father. I'm telling you right now, dude, unless your kid's golfing with you, I'm being honest. I'm being honest. You can't be good at golf, because to be good at golf, you need to do it like twice a week at least.
Sure.
You go to the range, do it. Unless you're doing it with your kids. Like, if you got kids under 10 and they're not golfing with you, you cannot be a good father and be a good husband and be a good golfer. I'm telling you right now, it's I used to do it when I was a kid. I used to play golf a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, it's a 5-6, it's your whole day out by yourself doing golf. Like,
sure.
Take your kid out, man.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to the sports thing, dude. Like, if you're working a 40-hour-a-week job and your kid's doing Little League 3 days a week and the weekends, like, you're missing out, man. Like, I know it's fun for him, but, dude, like, my kids are hunters. Like, my sons suck at football, but, dude, they can kill stuff. And, like, I don't regret it all. There's sometimes you kind of feel like FOMO, like my friends' kids are really good at baseball or football. But I'm like, what does it matter?
Sure.
I tell people all the time, like, I had a friend, right, and his kid went to the Little League World Series, and he was doing all this stuff, and he ended up going to be kind of a dickhead, like walking away from the Lord, and I remember telling him, like, hey, man, we're doing this camping trip. We're going to go. I was like, no, I got travel ball that weekend, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, let me tell you something right now. I can guarantee you that your kid is going to grow up and be a man someday. What I can't guarantee you is that your kid's a professional baseball player.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee you he won't.
Right.
What's more important? Right? And I think, like, if we were to go back now and talk to him, I think he would, I know he's not going to listen to this podcast, but he knows who he is. I think he would probably have gone on that camping trip.
Sure.
Because, like, his kid just kind of walked away from it because, like, it was so much time was put into, like, just circling around this kid and his sports and not into the kid.
Yeah, and I think it's all just about that dialogue. Like I said, you know, I don't think you need to be as absolute in, like, anti-travel ball, anti-baseball, whatever. If you want to do that, do that. But still, you have to make an even further sacrifice to make up for that quality time that you have allocated towards travel baseball or Little League or soccer or whatever that may be.
My thing is this, dude, with the travel ball. All right, it's a business.
Sure.
If your kid's going to hit dingers, he's going to hit dingers doing Little League or he's going to hit dingers doing travel ball.
Sure.
So, like, Bryce Harper, whether he played travel ball or not, was still going to go to Major League Baseball. You know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
We don't need travel ball. Like, it's not, like, your kid can play Little League and, like, he's not going to die. If he's that good, he's going to the majors.
Sure.
He's going to the majors. And, like, we've got sucked into this thing where we have to, like, whether it be travel dance, travel ball, travel cheer, freaking, like, it's baseball's 365. And, like, it's just, to me, it's just like, man, you're missing out on the family time with your kids, and that's what's important to me.
For sure.
And, like, most time, like, you're just, like, you see these dads at the ballpark, and they're, like, all, like, with the mullet now and the glasses, and they're living vicariously through their kids.
They're cussing out the umpire.
Cussing out the umpire. And, like, what are you gaining from that? Like, for your parenting, right? Like, other than they're with a bunch of kids that they're teaching them about things. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not, I mean, whatever, I am knocking sports, I guess. But, dude, like, do Little League.
No, but
you don't have to do.
What you're getting at is just, like, finding that quality time separate from the team sport, separate from school, separate from travel ball.
Dude, yes.
Shoot the 22, shoot your bow, go do adverse
go fishing,
things.
Go do something, go snowboarding, go ride dirt bikes. Like, me and my kids ride dirt bikes. If you don't have dirt bikes, go ride bicycles.
Yeah.
Dude, me and my 5-year-old will go ride bicycles. Time of his life, bro.
Yep.
Everyone has a bike.
Go and do a cul-de-sac and back.
Go ride the cul-de-sac and back.
Yeah.
We go and do it's like a 4-mile loop down by the river by my house. We'll go drive down there. Dude, time of his life.
Yep.
He gets to the end of the 2 miles, we have to return back, and he's always complaining a little bit. It's like, hey, you got to suck it up and go. So it's a good adversity thing as well. Force him to go back.
Right.
Oh, I'm going to quit. Oh, it's so hard.
Totally.
I'm like, no, you got to go back. But, dude, like, that's the kind of stuff that's just, to me, way more foundational than sitting in the bleachers and letting your kid be raised by a coach and a bunch of kids. And I'm sorry, like, I'm not knocking it, but, like, it's proven to not work. I'm sorry, people.
Sure.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, if I was right, if I was wrong, then, like, we all did it. And then we have this crazy divorce rate and this crazy, I'm not blaming baseball for that, but I'm just saying, like, dude, like, I'm just being truthful, dude.
Yeah, totally.
Like, we've given our kids up to public schools, to team sports, to the internet, to whatever it is, and we've lost the just, like, sit down and have a family.
Yep.
Right? And, like, it's just, my point is, you get so sucked up in it.
Put the screens away, sit down and have a family meal. Put the screens away, go on a camping trip.
My God, play a board game.
Yeah, exactly.
Play a board game sometime with your kids. Go play some cards. Go play Solitude with your kids.
Love is spelled Time.
Yeah,
time.
100%.
Again, you don't have to be a perfect father. Just be a present one.
Yep, and I'm sorry if you listen to this and you think I'm arrogant, but I'm just giving you my opinions on it, what I've seen happen. And
I mean, you got a lot more reps in fatherhood than I do.
I got a lot of reps in fatherhood,
yeah.
And I've just grown up in it and seen it, and being in ministry is the way I am. I get to be in a lot of families, and the families I see doing it right are doing it, whether it be surfing with their kids, whatever they're snowboarding, whatever
their medium is,
bringing their kids into their life rather than, like, making their life about their kids as well. Like, right. You know what I mean? Like, let's bring them, incorporate them in adult things. It's better. Jeff, phenomenal podcast. We always enter the hunting story. It doesn't be your biggest animal, it's your best animal, it's a hunting story. It could be friggin' stink bugs with your kid. I don't care.
What favorite hunting story.
Rip one. It doesn't be your favorite. It could be any. It be not even your favorite. It can be a good one. Your campfire story. Your go-to. You got to tell everybody the story because it's just so cool. Everyone thinks you're so awesome because of it. That one, you know.
I mean, I just remember the first time that I just successfully killed an elk by myself, packed it up by myself. It was just like, it really was a testimony of just like, I felt invincible in the moment. You know, it was a 3x5, like a tiny little
My first
spike
bull was a
bull.
5x5, dude.
Yeah,
and
dude.
You would have thought I could have ran through a wall.
Totally. I shot it. I've shot some cows prior to this, but this was my first like bull, and I was stoked. I started, hunting when I was in my mid-20s, low 20s, and I shot it. I saw it in his bed, shot it with my 30-06. It took me 6-7 hours to skin, to gut it up and get it out. Thankfully, it was snowing, so like meat was going to be fine. And 3 miles one way, packed it all out myself. I was able to, I was sharing a camp with some buddies, but we were all solo hunting. So just from start to finish, found it, killed it, packed it out, and I just remember bringing it back and sharing it with my wife, and like it was just that connection that I felt inside of myself is something that I want everyone to experience. Is that like you did the research, you networked, you got some good buddies to go out with, and everything finally comes and actually works. And like, dude, I don't know, for me, so many times I feel like a public land hunter, I'm like, dude, it's never going to happen. I'm never going to find an elk. Like, I'm never going to be able to actually punch a tag. And when it actually comes to fruition after years of effort, it was just a phenomenal experience. And it's something that it truly was not an insane life-changing experience, but it was life-changing, right? It was that feeling of putting food on your family's table that you harvested from beginning to end was a life-changing experience. There wasn't anything crazy about it, but
this proves my point from today we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
My first bull was actually the first elk I ever saw on public land ever. It was day 6. I never even seen a cow on public land.
Sure.
I finally killed in 2017. I remember the sound, the smells, I could go back to that moment right now.
Yes.
Man, my kids have the same stories. My kids have those same stories with me, dude. And like, that's what it's all about, people. That's what a mountain dad is all about, is having those moments with your kids as well. Because like,
Absolutely.
You're gonna get there, Jeff. Like my kid just shot his first animals in Africa. My 11-year-old, he's got a little bit better life than the other kids did. Like, he's getting some cool stuff, right? But like, he's gonna shoot his first mule deer this year. Like, I guarantee he'll get a mule deer this year. He's got a few tags, and like, dude, like, he's never gonna forget that.
Never.
It's like, man, like, everyone listening to this, you remember your first buck. My first buck's on the wall. My raghorn 5x5 bull is all busted up.
Yeah.
It's over my fireplace, dude. The horns are, and I'm the most proud moment, of my hunting career.
For sure.
Just killing that bull, right? When I shot my first buck, dude, it was like 12 days. I jumped him and he stood up and I shot him. I shot him 3 times and I was like, you're not getting away. I just keep shooting this buck, dude.
Yeah.
He stood up. I shoot him again in the neck. And dude, I remember just screaming, yeah, like, dude, like, it's being so. And now I shoot something, I'm like, kill some more stuff. I'm like, oh, dead. Okay, next.
For sure.
Like, it's kind of weird how it's kind of like gone. Like, it's so
I don't have that
uneventful
yet.
now.
I haven't killed I haven't killed enough things. Like, it's just another bull.
Dude, it's so uneventful now when I shoot stuff. It's kind of weird. But it depends on the moment too.
Yeah,
but like,
sure.
it's kind of like, kill another thing. But like, dude, those, I'll never forget the first ones, dude. And like, having those time with your kids is where it's at. Jeff, where can we find mountaindadbods.com? Don't look at Mountain Dad Bods.
Mountain Dads, plural with an S, mountaindads.com. My main Instagram's Dodds_doozies. I got a Mountain Dads Instagram page as well. YouTube channel coming soon. Thanks for, giving me the opportunity to share the story, but I really do care more about the father in front of me than like growing a channel, growing a space, analytics, all of that. I really just care about growing a community of like-minded fathers that understand that their kids, their families are their mission number one.
Yep,
Yeah.
100%. Also will say, if you have some hunts coming up this year and you maybe want a filmer, Jeff might be available to go film some hunts for you.
I got you.
He got you. So, Jeff Dodds, bro.
Thanks so much for the time.
Mountain
man.
Dad Bods. Go get it, dude. Good job, dude.
Heck
That was
yeah.
fun, bro. It's good, dude.
Dude, I don't do very many podcasts, but the ones I do, it's just like that. It's so life.